Hello and welcome to wonderful Winter Park, Florida for this Division II SSC baseball matchup between two top 10 ranked teams in the country. The visiting number 5 ranked University of Tampa Spartans and the home team, the number 10 ranked Rollins College Tars. We'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network for Game 1 of this Saturday doubleheader. I'm Porter Kelly, joined by Max Mesman on the call. And Max, these two teams are both at the top of the Sunshine State Conference. After losing the first game of the series yesterday, how important is it for Rollins to bounce back today?
Well, as we go on to the latter half of the year, Porter, it becomes more and more important for really the top half of the Sunshine State Conference to try and lock in that number 1 spot and claim the qualifying spot in the NCAA Division II Regional in the NCAA tournament. As you well know, there's only one team from the SSC at the end of the year, no matter how powerful the conference is, that gets an automatic bid. There is no postseason tournament. So right now, Rollins sits about 3 games behind Tampa. If they're able to get 2 wins today or even 1 win, it sets them up really well going into a big Eckerd College series next weekend, who is 3rd in the conference.
And this first game is the most important because if you can win this one, you can take the series in the rubber match, a game that's supposed to start around 3 o'clock, but we'll see when this one ends. The defensive alignment for the Tars today, starting with behind the plate for Game 1 is Steven Deans. And in the infield, at first base, Connor O'Sullivan. Second base, Joey Rubin. Third base, Jimmy Thies. And rounding out the infield at shortstops, Maudi Bejarano. In the outfield and left, it's Michael Furry. In center, it's Jaden Brown. And in right field, it's Mason Elrod. As the leadoff hitter for the Spartans steps up to the plate, facing the Tars ace in Brett Dennis.
Yeah, and leading off for the Tampa Spartans is Jordan Evans, the transfer from Shelton State Community College. On deck for the Spartans is Jake Brooks, the right fielder. In the 3-hole is the second baseman, Braden Woodburn, leading the Spartans in batting average. Cleanup is the catcher, Yonder Irigoyen. And in the 5-hole is the DH, Gunnar Carlson. Batting 6th, the first baseman, Walker Vanacek. Batting 7th, the left fielder is Javi Soto. Batting 8th, the shortstop, Jesse Ponce. And batting 9th, the third baseman, Jack Martinez for the Spartans.
Brett Dennis fell behind Evans 3-0, but gets his first strike in there.
Evans, a .370 hitter coming into this one.
He rips one to the left side. A nice pick at third by Thies. Fires across a diamond for out number 1. A great play there from the hot corner.
Yeah, Jimmy Thies right there making it look routine off the bat there. Looked like a hot shot by Jordan Evans, but Jimmy Thies able to nab it and get it over to first.
Yesterday, an error from Jimmy Thies over there at third base really got the Spartans lineup going with 4 runs there in the 3rd inning, and they didn't look back from there. Kept the lead all the way till the end with a dominant 6-1 victory. As the number 2 hitter steps in, Jake Brooks.
Jake Brooks, transfer from Coastal Carolina. Jake Brooks. And Brooks yesterday had a solid outing. 1 hit, 2 runs scored, 2 walks. Struck out once.
As he takes ball 2 there up. Count moves to 2-1. Brett Dennis has his hands full with one of the best lineups in the Sunshine State Conference. You go down their team stats, it's hard not to see something they're not top 2 in the conference.
Yeah, right now, 2nd in batting average in the conference, 1st in home runs. We were talking about this before the broadcast. They have 4 starters who all have 5+ home runs. The only team in the Sunshine Conference to do that. So they're just all around, just top to bottom, hard to face.
Brett Dennis will have to be locked in this one, as well as the Tars defense behind him as the count moves to full to the number 2 hitter in the Spartans lineup. Here comes the payoff from Dennis. It's up and away for ball 4, and the first base runner is on for the game for the Spartans with 1 out here in the first.
Yeah, giving up a walk there after getting the initial out. That is something the Tars, they allowed 3 walks yesterday. Brett Dennis has been good about not giving up free passes so far this year. Only 13 to 48 strikeouts, but right there, good eye by Jake Brooks.
Brooks has one of the best eyes in the conference. That walk moves him into second only behind his teammate in walks Gunnett Carlson, as we see the number 3 hitter Braden Woodburn step into the batter's box.
And it doesn't get any easier after facing Books. You face Braden Woodburn, who leads the Spartans in batting average this year with .380.
Dennis has to keep an eye over there on Books. 5 for 5 on stolen base opportunities as Woodburn skies one to right. Mason Elrod tracking it, gets under it for out number 2.
And an interesting outfield alignment for the Tars today. No Matt Mateo, who's usually been a shoe-in over at left field, but today over in right you have Mason Elrod and Michael Furry switching over to left field for today.
With this sunny Saturday that we're having, it's going to be important for them to battle the sun to make these plays. You don't want to give this really good Spartans lineup any extra outs, as the cleanup hitter, Joander Irigoyen, steps in and fouls off the first pitch from Dennis.
Joander Irigoyen, who was able to drive in the first run yesterday. Well, he reached on a fielding error, that one you talked about earlier for Jimmy Thies. That really just set up the Spartans, and that's why Brett Dennis has to be careful early on in this one, as well as the Tars defense.
The 0-1 to Irigoyen's taken high for ball 1.
Irigoyen played high school ball at Sunshine State Elite Academy from over in Winter Garden, Florida. Local kid.
He grounds one over to short. Bejarano goes to second, the short way for out number 3. A scoreless first inning for Brett Dennis, and it's the top of the Tars order coming up when we come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into Alphonse Stadium. As we are starting this bottom of the first, we'd like to give a quick shout out to the official medical team for the Rollins College Tars, or the Orlando Health Clinic, looking out for everybody's health in the city of Winter Park as well as the Orlando area. Thank you to Orlando Health.
The defensive alignment here for the Spartans here in the bottom of the first. We see behind the plate Joander Irigoyen. In the infield at first base, Walter Vanacek. At second base, Braden Woodburn. Third base is Jack Martinez. Shortstop is Jesse Ponce. In left field is Javier Soto. In center field is Jordan Evans. And right field to wrap it up is Jake Books. And after Robert Satin yesterday threw a complete game, just one run against these Tars, it doesn't get much easier for them with B.J. Bailey on the mound.
Yeah, B.J. Bailey coming in with a 1.43 ERA, 9-0 record on the season, 88 strikeouts to 16 walks.
Ruben lines one to left field. It's just foul. Would have been extra bases to start off the game from Ruben, but home plate umpire Casey Sanchez made the call down that left field line.
A game of millimeters right there, just missed the foul line. But speaking of Joey Ruben, he is the leadoff hitter, has been all season for the Tars. Really, the top three has been pretty consistent so far this year with Joey Ruben, the DH, Colin Hughes on deck, and then in the hole is Michael Furry. Batting cleanup is the center fielder, Jaden Brown. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Connor O'Sullivan. Batting sixth, the third baseman, experienced Jimmy Thies. Batting seventh, right fielder Mason Elrod in place for Matt Mateo. Batting eighth is the catcher, Steven Deans. And then batting ninth, the shortstop, Marty Bejarano.
Ruben made the long trek from second base when he thought he had extra bases back into the batter's box. He's now ahead in the count 3-1. He jumps on that pitch and skies it to center field. Jordan Evans will have room just in front of the track to make the catch for out number one.
But that's solid contact from Joey Ruben against B.J. Bailey that you like to see early on if you're Coach Sjogren. Minimal wind today, so that one just got caught up in the air and then wasn't able to make it much farther than center field.
He got ahead in the count twice, that 2-0 pitch. He jumped on it, then again at 3-1. Good contact, like you said, as the number two hitter and DH for game one of this doubleheader, Colin Hughes steps in and takes ball one.
And Colin Hughes currently leads the Tars as he has all season in batting average, although he's in a little bit of a slump. Yesterday went 0 for 2.
As he grounds it to second, a little bit of trouble out there, but the play is made eventually by Braden Woodburn. 2 quick outs for B.J. Bailey.
And great job by Woodburn there. Had a little bit of trouble fielding it off the first hop, but able to barehand it and then toss it over to first base. Great job by Woodburn. You know, great in the hitter's box, but also great in the infield.
Just took 7 pitches so far for Bailey to get the first 2 outs here, as we see the number 3 hitter, Michael Furry, step into the box.
And Michael Furry had an incredible moment earlier on in the season. The last game I called on March 28th against Lynn University had a walk-off 3-run homer against the Lynn University Knights. And Michael Furry, he's been on and off this year. He had a stint where I believe he had an injury, but now is back and fully healthy.
He falls behind Bailey, 0-2. Good job making contact on that 0-2 pitch. Bailey pitching from the left side with Furry in the right-hander's batter's box. He takes ball one.
Good eye right there by Michael Furry. After getting down 0-2, able to spot the ball going down in the zone. Michael Furry, one of 3 starters from last year's team returning this year.
Fouls off that 1-2 pitch down the left field line. Doing a good job staying alive here against one of the best pitchers in the conference.
Yeah, B.J. Bailey, you know, you go from Robert Satine, who has 80-plus strikeouts to single-digit walks, and then it doesn't get any easier for the Tars as you're facing B.J. Bailey, who has a 1.43 ERA through 9 starts.
Gets Furry swinging on the off-speed pitch. 1-2-3, go the Tars in the first. No score as we head to the top of the second. Welcome back to Harper Shepherd Field here in Winter Park, Florida. We would just like to take a moment to thank Rollins College for giving us the opportunity to call this game, as well as our program director, Gus Ramsey. We are students at the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting, so just an amazing opportunity for us to hone our skills here at Rollins College as we are at the top of the second inning, 5-6-7 due up for the Spartans, beginning with Gunnick Carlson.
And Gunnick Carlson had Noah Greenside figured out yesterday for the Tars. 3 of 5 in the batter's box, scored a run, and batted 2 runs in. Had 1 strikeout on the day, but the catcher, so far so good in this series.
The 0-2 pitch just outside from Dennis. Count moves to 1-2.
And Brett Dennis in that first inning, pretty solid, 16 pitches, had 1 walk, but no hits.
Woodburn fouls off the 1-2 pitch. That's really the aim of his game. You were talking about how he got 3 hits yesterday. He actually leads the Sunshine State Conference in walks. So he's very patient at the plate, and when it does get to 2 strikes, he's able to work pitches, but not this time. Brett Dennis gets Braden Woodburn swinging for the first out of the second.
The first strikeout of the day for Brett Dennis. He's going to have a lot of those. We were talking during the break about how both of these starting pitchers average about 6 innings pitched in their starts. So this is a game that really it's going to be whichever guy that is starting on the mound for both of these teams can make it the farthest. You know, they'll probably both be able to make it to 6. But, I mean, if Dennis or Bailey on the other side is able to possibly get to 7, that would be really huge for their team.
That brings up the number 6 hitter, Walker Vanacek, who also, like Woodburn, had a very productive day in yesterday's ball game.
Yeah, the first baseman yesterday had 2 hits and 5 at-bats, also 2 runs batted in, and scored a run.
He skies the 1-1 to the left side of the infield. Bejarano calls off Thies and makes the catch. 2 quick outs here in the top of the second.
It's a little tricky, though, on that infield right now as there's clouds constantly shifting in the air. We started this inning coming back from break with it being fully sunny out. Now we're basically completely coated in shade. So good job by Bejarano, though, sticking with that high pop-up.
Dennis gets the first 2 Spartans hitters on 8 pitches as the number 7 hitter, Javi Soto, swings at the first pitch and misses.
Really, as I look at it for yesterday's box score, this middle part of the lineup for the Spartans was putting in work. 2 of 4 in the batter's box yesterday for Soto, including 1 ribby.
Brett Dennis, one of the quickest working pitchers. He does not let you get comfortable in the box. 1 pitch after another. You got to be ready for his next pitch.
And we're seeing some hard hacks from the Spartans right now, swinging for yard, which, I mean, this is a team that does that on a consistent basis, 40 on the year as a team. But right now, Dennis, really seeing the box well so far. Still under 30 pitches through almost 2 full innings.
Count is even to Soto at 2-2 with 2 outs. Brett Dennis sets and fires. Swung on and missed. 1-2-3 go the Spartans in the top of the second. Brett Dennis is through 2 with no runs allowed. It's 4-5-6 due up for the Tars as we head to the bottom of the second.
Leading off for Rollins in the second inning.
B.J. Bailey ready for his second inning of work here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. After setting Rollins down 1-2-3 in the first inning, he'll face 4-5-6 here in the second, beginning with the center fielder, Jaden Brown.
Yeah, and if you thought what Brett Dennis did in the first inning was really quick work, B.J. Bailey make that look like it's nothing. 13 pitches in the first inning, 1 strikeout, no walks, no hits. And that's usually how he does. And we were talking during the break how this could honestly be a quicker game the way that these pitchers are sitting down these hitters.
Just 1 base runner through 1 1/3 on a walk. No hits yet for either side. Jaden Brown looking to change that in this lefty-on-left matchup. The 2-0 pitch misses. He's ahead in the count, 3-0.
And Jaden Brown, part of that duo that transferred from D1, Eastern Kentucky, him and Maudie Bejarano, who have both been really cornerstones for the Tars in the outfield. And Jaden Brown has also provided some pop for the Tars lineup, 4 home runs on the year.
3-0 pitch taking all the way. Bailey able to find the strike zone.
Also leads the Tars in runs batted in with 35. Hitters count here for Jaden Brown. I'd look for him to try and see an inside-outside pitch. And
that's what he did, but he gets under it, pops it in foul ground down the first base line, and the catch is made by Walker Vanacek.
Not a bad idea by Brown, not a bad pitch to swing at, but ultimately, like you said, got too far under it and just swept it up into the air. 4 straight batters sat down by B.J. Bailey to start off this one.
We've seen the Tars get into hitters' counts and really be aggressive in trying to capitalize. It's a good sign to see them working the counts, getting ahead. Now, just focusing on executing when you get to that point.
And stepping into the box for the Tars, that's Connor O'Sullivan, was rocking the 1-0 early on in the year, number 10, but has recently been going with the double 4s for the Tars. And he's been really solid, especially on the base pass so far this year, 10 steals. So,
and double 4s on the back of his jersey, and the jerseys they're wearing, those home white cutoffs as he rips one to right field, moving it over his books, and he makes the running catch. Nice play out there after a hard hit contact from Connor O'Sullivan.
An excellent jump there by Brooks, was immediately drifting to his left off of contact and able to get there. But another solid, a solid look at the plate for the Tars. You know, similar to Joey Rubin, just good contact, but just not in the right spot, and great play by the outfielder.
We have the Spartans in the red. What do you think of these Tars sleeveless cutoff jerseys?
Well, I really like it. You know, I was talking with actually one of our, as you mentioned earlier, we are students at the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. I was talking with one of our course directors, Gordy Hershiser, the other day, who was talking about how
these
oh goodness,
lifts one to left, doesn't quite have enough on it. For catches made out there in left field for out number 3. We'll get back to that conversation as we head to the top of the third. 8-9-1 due up for the Spartans lineup here in the top half of the third. We are still scoreless here at Harper Shepherd Field, beginning with shortstop Jesse Ponce facing Brett Dennis, who's out there for his third inning of work.
Yeah, Brett Dennis, 2 strikeouts last inning this year so far. He has been really good at striking out and not giving up free passes. 48 strikeouts, 213 coming into this one. So just got his 50th of the year to lead all of the Tars. But we were talking about last inning, you asked me, what do I think of those sleeveless Tars jerseys? Well, I had a conversation with Gordy Hershiser, one of our directors at Full Sail, about Payne Stewart, the guy who popularized it for the game of golf, but it was Ted Klaszewski who popularized it for baseball, famous in the 1950s for cutting off his jerseys at the sleeves to show off his massive 15-inch biceps. So I'll tell you what, the Tars players definitely enjoy being able to do that today, although some of them got sleeves on. He was just rocking bare arm.
I always will remember those sleeveless jerseys the Cincinnati Reds used to wear a few years ago, and all those players who would work out their arms and get big biceps, I'm sure loved those jerseys as well. As the count runs full to Jesse Ponce.
And Jesse Ponce yesterday, 1 of 3. Everybody for Tampa getting a hit yesterday except for their leadoff hitter, Jordan Evans.
The full count pitch just inside to Ponce, and the leadoff batter for the Spartans here in the third is on. We'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Jack Martinez.
And I'm not so sure about that one, Porter. I thought that one was able to drift over the plate, but ultimately the umpire not seeing it that way. So another walk given up early in the inning by Brett Dennis. That's his second on the day.
We heard some oohs over here from Tars fans who I think would agree with you on that, as just the second base runner for either side. But with it being the leadoff hitter, a chance now for the Spartans to draw first blood.
Yeah, Cardinals sent as a pitcher to walk the leadoff batter, because now you set up Jack Martinez, unless hopefully you're able to sit down Martinez, because otherwise you're looking at possibly 2 base runners with the top of the order back up for the Spartans.
Martinez squared to bunt on that first pitch, popped it out, foul. He's done 2 sacrifices so far as he lays it down again. It goes back to the pitcher, Dennis, only plays to first. So Martinez does his job as a number 9 hitter and moves Ponce into scoring position for the top.
Yeah, I don't hate the call from head coach Joe Urso for the Spartans, trying to play some small ball here. I feel like both of these sides know that these are the two of the best hitters in the entire conference that are playing today. And so playing some small ball, now you have the first runner in scoring position. And Jordan Evans, who is extremely due up, 0 for 6 so far in this series, but a 370 average coming into today. So he's waiting to rocket one, and he's got a runner on second to where if he's able to crank it out into the outfield, that first run is being scored this inning.
Took the first pitch for a ball and rips the second one to left. Michael Furry able to track it, not having to move too far to make the catch. 2 outs now with that runner in scoring position.
Evans cranked it to the outfield, but right to Michael Furry, so now 2 outs in the inning. That was huge for Dennis. Now goes up against Jake Books, who he walked his first time up.
Seen from these 2 teams,
good contact.
Some good hard contact, yes, and nothing to show for it. No hits for either side so far.
And absolutely no wind on the outfield, so you're going to really have to put some muscle behind it. Speaking of those biceps being shown by the Tars, they're going to have to put some muscle behind these hits to get them over the yard.
As you said, Jake Books, the number 2 hitter, checks in as he's ahead in the count now, 2-0. We saw the Tars be aggressive in these kind of counts. Jake Books now finds himself there. We'll see how aggressive he is this next pitch from Dennis.
And if you're Dennis, you do have a first base open, but don't want to give up your second walk of the day to Books. Good strike right there by Dennis on the outside corner.
Be hard to justify almost anyone in this lineup just because of it doesn't get much easier the farther down in the order you go. As Dennis finds the strike zone on that last pitch. And with that one fouled off by Books, the count is even at 2-2.
Like you said, it doesn't get any easier. If he were to walk Jake Books, which isn't seeming likely now after 2 straight strikes from Dennis, he would have to face Braden Woodburn with 2 runners on, who is the leader in batting average for the Spartans lineup.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the third. The pitch from Dennis to Books is swung on and missed. Brett Dennis threw 3 scoreless against this hot Spartans lineup. We head to the bottom of the third. It's the bottom of the it's the bottom third of the Tars lineup due up when we come back. After B.J. Bailey set down the first 6 Tars hitters in the first 2 innings, it's 7, 8, 9 due up. Beginning with Mason Elrod, then Steven Deans and Maudie Bejarano.
Mason Elrod getting a rare start over in right field and now up to the plate. Is batting .350 coming into this game with 40 plate appearances on the year.
First pitch is off speed from B.J. Bailey. It drops in on the outer half for strike 1.
Like you said, 6 up, 6 down for B.J. Bailey. So far, so good. Would not be surprised if as we hear the sound effect of broken glass over the speakers.
Catch me off guard every time.
Yeah, that one got me like a jump scare right there.
Well, you like horror movies, so you're not too mad about that.
Absolutely. But going back to my point, if the Tars are able to get somebody on base, they definitely are going to be playing some small ball, similar to what we saw out of the Spartans last inning, but Brett Dennis able to clutch up and get out of the inning.
Both these coaches, Joe Urso for the Spartans and the Dr. John Sjogren for the Tars, have plenty of experience and have been in these kind of games before.
Yeah, Coach Sjogren in his 21st season with the Tars.
2-2 pitch to Elrod's lifted to center. That's Jordan Evans out there. Comes in initially, then makes his way back and makes the catch for out 1 in this 3rd inning.
But if I've said it once, I've said it a million times, I'd like that contact right there from Elrod. And B.J. Bailey isn't hiding from these hitters. He's throwing some good pitches for them to hit, but just unable to get it completely clean off the bat there from Elrod.
Both these pitchers, something I've noticed from Dennis throughout the season and that I'm noticing right now from B.J. Bailey is they trust their stuff. They're not scared of anybody at the plate, and they don't mind a little bit of contact because they trust their stuff and they trust their defense behind them.
Absolutely.
As the 8-hitter Steven Deans comes up, lifts one to center, getting deja vu as Jordan Evans, for about the same spot, makes the catch for out number 2.
I was just about to say, similar story. I mean, we've seen that Jordan Evans getting a lot of work over in center field. The outfield for the Spartans getting some work, but all the balls just seem to be getting caught up in the air. And so now bringing up Bejarano, Tars are trying to avoid a 9 up, 9 down against Bailey.
Yeah, first time through the order. Bejarano, their last hope in getting someone on in these first 3 innings. So he takes ball 1 from B.J. Bailey.
Bejarano, the second half of that duo from Eastern Kentucky along with Jaden Brown, was 2 of 3 yesterday. Scored 2 runs, was struck out once. The Tars, really the opposite of the Spartans' day yesterday. The Spartans, 8 of their 9 starters each getting a hit. The Tars, only 4 of their 9 getting a hit, but 3 of those starters had 2.
That includes Bejarano, who scored the only run for the Tars against Robert Satin, who threw a complete game. He finds himself behind 1-2. A dirty off-speed pitch from Bailey in the dirt. Bejarano just able to hold back.
Yeah, Bejarano buckled his knees right there, but like you said, able to watch it go by without swinging.
Count now even at 2-2. The pitch from Bailey, just a defensive swing there from Bejarano to stay alive.
Yeah, good job by Bejarano. Not a great pitch for him to swing on, but able to just get his bat onto it to keep the at-bat alive. That is now the 30th pitch for Bailey so far today, so he's right on pace for his usual 6 innings.
Bejarano lifts it to right center, going back on it his books, and he's not able to get there. Bejarano rounds second, heads to third, and the first base runner for the Tars is on with 2 outs here in the third.
And he has a chance to be the scorer of 2 runs for the Tars, the first 2 in this series. Right there, a stand-up triple. It drifted quite a bit over Brooks' head towards deep right field and just unable to get his glove onto it.
The number 9 hitter for the Tars providing a spark here. Will bring up the leadoff hitter, Joey Rubin, with the Tars' first opportunity with a runner on and a runner in scoring position. And I don't know if you saw this, Max, but Bailey was doing his best Johnny Cueto impression there with his windup. He'll switch it up. He'll switch up the timing to try and throw off the Tars hitters, but Bejarano was not thrown off on that pitch.
Yeah, what a way to get the first hit of the game. Before him, 16 batters on both teams, unable to get a hit. Now in dangerous scoring position. B.J. Bailey up until that point, 8 for 8 on sitting batters down. And Rubin had some very solid contact, flew out to center field, similar to a couple of other hitters in the Tars order so far.
The 1-1 pitch taken by Rubin low for ball 2. And yesterday's game, the third inning, is when the Tars scored their one and only run.
But what's different today is Tampa scored 4 runs in the top of that third.
Right.
So Tars able to possibly take their first lead of the series right here if Rubin's able to get a hold of one.
2-1 pitch drops in, evens the count at 2-2, and Bejarano having quite the series here, 3 of 4 through the first game and a third.
And this is deja vu from yesterday. Joey Rubin did have the first RBI.
But this time, unable to come through. The off-speed pitch once again from Bailey gets Rubin swinging. So the 2-out triple, the Tars are unable to take advantage of, and we head to the 4th, still deadlocked at 0.
Leading off the fourth inning for Tampa.
We are still scoreless here in the fourth inning here in Winter Park, Florida, between the Tars and the University of Tampa Spartans. As Max, we predicted before this game, when we heard the pitching matchup, Dennis and Bailey, we predicted a low-scoring game, and that's exactly what we've got so far.
Yeah, our prediction was low scoring and possibly a very quick game as well. Not even 40 minutes of game time so far, and we're already in the top of the fourth. As Brett Dennis continuing his work here in the top of the fourth. Talking to our boy, John Karuba, who's shooting the game today. He was giving me some insight on how, as Thies
makes the routine play across the diamond for out number one.
And as I was saying, talking to one of our fellow classmates, John Karuba, during the break between the bottom of the third and the top of the fourth, you know, the longer the game goes scoreless, you know, that usually favors the away team. But in this case, I would say it favors the Tars. You know, you look at this Tampa team, one of the highest scoring teams in the conference. And if you're the Tars, that triple by Bejarano is definitely a good sign. Still no hits for the Spartans so far through 3 innings.
I said before, this was not going to be an easy game for Brett Dennis, but he sure has made it look easy against, like you said, this really good Spartans offense who's second in average, second in runs, second in hits, second in doubles, first in home runs, and the list goes on and on in the Sunshine State Conference as Irigoyen rips one to short. Bejarano unable to corral the short hop. And it'll be interesting to see how they score that, but it could be the first hit for the Spartans from their cleanup hitter, Joander Irigoyen.
Yeah, they scored it on the scoreboard as the first hit for the Spartans, and that is how it will be scored, a single over short. So good job at Irigoyen. Yeah, they really hard hit off the bat, similar to that leadoff line out to Jimmy Thies by Jordan Evans.
That one's grounded up the middle. Bejarano gets one, throws off line, but Connor O'Sullivan able to apply the tag. And it's a double play to end the top of the fourth.
A little bit of a pirouette there by the Irishman over at first base. Heck of a play.
After the one-out hit by Irigoyen, Carlson grounds into the double play. Brett Dennis through 4 scoreless as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Two, 3, 4 due up for the Tars as we are still scoreless in the bottom of the fourth. It's Colin Hughes, Michael Furry, and Jaden Brown out there facing BJ Bailey, beginning with the DH.
Yeah, beginning with Colin Hughes, who for the entire first half of the year not only batted basically over 400 that entire stretch, but led the SSC in batting average. Recently has hit a bit of a slump going back to the Palm Beach Atlantic game 2 games ago. He is 0 for his last 6 at bats. So a little bit of a do-up for the Virginia Commonwealth transfer.
Slumps never feel good at the plate, but he can feel good still with his average, still at 385. That just goes to show how hot of a start to the season he had as he falls behind 0-2 to B.J. Bailey, but takes ball 1 in the dirt.
Yeah, I remember early on in the season, at the end of non-conference play, he had over a 500 batting average, and we were like, who is this transfer from VCU for the Tars? Has made his name known.
The 1-2. Check swing, appealed down to first. That's Marcial Santos saying Colin Hughes did not go, and the count will go to 2-2.
Yeah, good job by Hughes being able to hold back right there, but B.J. Bailey's still throwing his stuff.
B.J. Bailey
allowed the first hit of the day, but outside of that, completely unscathed. 2 strikeouts, a walk, no walks through 40 pitches.
Yeah, the lefty graduate student from Woodruff, South Carolina. He began his college career at Clemson, and it's not hard to see that he does have D1 stuff. As Hughes grounds the pitch to first. Walker, the first baseman, Vanacek. Yes, Vanacek will take it himself for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, but like you said, transfer from Clemson, there's a lot of high D1 transfers on this Tampa team. You think about Robert Satine, who pitched yesterday for the Spartans. He transferred from the University of Florida. And you have Cade Drowan, who we haven't even seen so far this series, transferred from Virginia Tech. You have a transfer from Miami. Like, there's a lot of D1 talent on the Spartans team. No wonder they've won the last 5 titles for the Sunshine State Conference.
Yes, just a dominant powerhouse that Coach Joe Urso has built as Furry lifts one to shallow left center. Calling the rest of his teammates off is Javi Soto. He makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, good job by Javi Soto, the transfer from JUCO Santa Fe College, able to call off the center fielder and the shortstop right there to make the catch. And we're starting to see what it looked like for B.J. Bailey throughout those first 2 innings, and really first 2 2/3 before that Bejarano triple. Just quick work so far from the lefty in the bottom of the 4th.
Quick work is the perfect way to put it. This next pitch will be his 50th of the game. Sets him up, and Brett Dennis as well, with his low pitch count, to go deep into this ball game.
And Jaden Brown fouled out to the first baseman, Walker Vanacek, his last time up. But I really like this lefty-lefty matchup for Jaden Brown.
Falls behind 0-2. Doesn't let it deter him. Lines it to left, but it stays up for Javi Soto. Another one of those good contact outs for the Tars. It's 1-2-3 as we head to the 5th inning. We are back here at Harper Shepherd Field for the top of the 5th inning. Still no score here, 1 hit apiece. You are watching the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. I'm Porter Kelly, joined by Max Mesman. And this game has been flying by, as we said during the break, Max.
Yeah, almost halfway through this affair between the Spartans and the Tars, and we are just now about to reach 50 minutes of game time. You might be able to get home early, ladies and gentlemen, today from this doubleheader.
Might give these Tars and Spartans a break before their game 2.
Yeah, game 2 scheduled to start at 3 p.m. A chance they'd be able to do it at 2, the way we're going right now. But like you said, an hour-long break would be much needed after this. But you know who's looking like he doesn't need a break is Brett Dennis. So far, 50 pitches through 4 innings. Only allowed 1 hit, like you said. 2 walks, but 3 strikeouts.
He falls behind the number 6 hitter, Walker Vanacek, who homered yesterday in that 4-run 3rd inning. Looking to do one there as he comes uncorked there.
Swinging out of his shoes right there, the 6 hitter, number 6. And Vanacek, he popped up to Bejarano over at short his last time up, but like you said, has some power. Some high heat right there from Dennis.
He got a taste of the long ball yesterday, but he wanted the full meal here today. Instead, he'll take the walk. And the leadoff runner for the Spartans here in the top of the 5th is on. We'll bring up the number 7 hitter, Javi Soto.
And that's been the really one thing kicking Dennis's performance down so far today. He has 3 strikeouts, but he also has 3 walks, which is pretty uncharacteristic of him coming into this one. Now 16 walks on the year, almost a quarter of them coming in just today's game.
Walker Vanacek over at first base. 1 for 2 on the year in stolen base opportunities. Not the biggest threat to run. As Soto lays down the bunt down the first base line. Tough play for O'Sullivan. Javi Soto uses the speed and he'll reach base on a bunt infield single. 2 on now as Soto maybe came down awkwardly on the bag and is holding his right leg.
Yeah, Soto looked like he tripped on the bag and he immediately started reaching for that right leg. Coach Urso coming over to check up.
A perfect bunt from Soto down that, right in between the pitcher Dennis and first baseman O'Sullivan.
Yeah, no chance right there. Like you said, perfect from Soto. O'Sullivan coming over to try and make the play, but good hustle by Soto, and you just hope he's okay.
Working on that right leg that planted on the bag as he was hustling out of the batter's box. His job was just to get the runner into scoring position, but he did more than he was asked for after reaching base as he's able to stand up and walk off under his own power. A great sight to see, but it looks like he will be coming out of the game.
Yeah, all of his teammates coming out to check up on him. But like you said, really good sign because he took a hard fall past that first base line, and looks like coming into pinch run for him will be number 5, Nick Pereira.
Getting his legs warmed up. We'll resume action with 2 runners on now and nobody out. The most adversity Dennis has faced on the mound in this game so far.
Absolutely, and it's from a walk and a bunt single down the line. And so we talked about it earlier. This is a game where both of these teams might need to do a little bit of small ball against these pitchers to try and break the seal. You feel like 2, possibly 3 runs wins it for your team, and right now 2 on for the Spartans, no outs.
This is a perfect situation to do some small ball with Jesse Ponce coming up, the number 8 hitter. And he does lay down the bunt. It goes back to Dennis. He fires to first, gets the out. Nice play by Dennis. Nice strong throw. But Ponce does his job, gets 2 runners into scoring position now with less than 2 outs.
And you stole the words right out of my mouth, Porter. Brett Dennis right there noticing that he had to put some mustard on that throw to get it over to first, able to rifle it. But like you said, doing his job, Ponce able to lay down a really good bunt. And now 2 in scoring position. And if you're Jack Martinez, fly out to deep center field, drives in the first run of the game.
First pitch to Martinez is taken for ball 1. And the small ball working so far for Tampa. They've got the situation they want. A ground ball, a softly hit ground ball would score. Vanacek from third, and like you said, a deep enough fly out. As he grounds it up the middle, it's through into center field. Vanacek scores, Pereira rounds third with no play, and the Spartans get on the board first here in the top of the 5th off a 2-run single from Jack Martinez.
Top lineup here, center.
And
13, Jordan Evans.
And Javi Soto's hustle at first base does not go out in vain. 2 runs scored by the Spartans. Great piece of hitting by Jack Martinez, able to squeeze it up the middle. And we were talking about a fly out. He said, no, why not I get a single of my own? So now 1 out and 2-0.
Some more small ball looking to be played. That one's popped up. Almost reached the outfield on a bunt attempt from Jordan Evans.
And if the Spartans are able to somehow get Martinez all the way around the bases, really put some pressure on the Tars, but already damage done, 2 runs.
Dennis now up past 60 pitches.
And you can see they're starting to figure him out a little bit. Good eye by Evans right there on the high pitch. Jordan Evans, who 0 of 7 so far in this series so far for the Spartans, but hitting is contagious for this inning. Only 1 hit allowed by Dennis, now 2. And 2 runs scored by Tampa so far in the bottom of the 5th.
1-1 pitch is popped up to shallow center. Mauri Bejarano has no trouble. That will be out number 2 here in the 5th.
And in on the hands, good pitch right there by Dennis.
Number 12,
Jordan Evans not being patient, trying to force something. Good job by Bejarano, able to spot it out. And 2 runs hurts, especially in this one where, BJ Bailey is absolutely dealing like he's at a casino right now for the Spartans. But if you're Dennis, you just got to get out of the inning. And, at the end of the day, the Tars do have a very strong offense as well, a reason they're second in the SSC. Got to try to make it as easy for them as possible given the situation.
I'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Jake Books, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. First pitch to him was a called strike 1. The second one is of swinging variety. He falls behind Brett Dennis 0-2.
Jake Books struck out his last time up, walked in the first, but we talk about it, how that all started in this inning. It was the walk given up to Vanacek.
0-2 just misses.
Those tend to pile up if you're Brett Dennis. 3 walks on the day, the first one crucial. The difference between 2 and 1 run in this inning.
1 strike away from getting out of it is Brett Dennis, the 1-2 to Books. It's just up and away. 2 close pitches taken by Books, and he evens the count.
Just outside right there for Dennis, but I like the pitch up 1-2 in the count. Now you even it up 2-2. A pitch that could have been called strike 3, but like you said, chance for Dennis to get out of it here.
The 2-2 from Dennis. It's on the ground to first. That's a fair ball off the glove of O'Sullivan, and we'll get all the way to the warning track. Elrod tracks it down. Here comes Martinez from third. He will score.
Man, oh man.
An RBI double off the bat of Jake Books down the right field line. And Dr. John Sjogren is letting home plate umpire, who made that call that it was fair, he's letting him have it.
And I usually side with the doctor, but right here I think the umps actually got it correct because O'Sullivan put his glove out to try and get it before it reached foul. I really feel like if O'Sullivan would have held off, that would have been foul, but the rule is if you touch it while it's fair and it goes foul, it is a fair ball. So
I wouldn't say that in front of these Tars fans right now. They are also letting home plate umpire Casey Sanchez have it.
I will keep my mouth shut in order to stay on the broadcast. But
That's what happens when you have two umpires as well. It's really tough. That call is a really tough call to make for a home plate umpire. And if you have 4, even 3 umpires, you have one down that first base line, someone looking at it and someone closer that could make the call. But
and it's a bang play.
It is.
But
That's one of the hardest plays. The baseball was hit really hard, and it doesn't matter where it was. It mattered where Connor O'Sullivan touched it. So just a really tough call for Casey Sanchez to make.
Well, that's why you try and get your bat on the ball if you're Jake Books right there, because you make something happen.
As Woodburn grounds it back to Dennis, who's able to flip it to O'Sullivan for out number 3, but not before the Spartans get on the board with 3 runs on 3 hits. We head to the bottom of the 5th. The Tars now find themselves down 3-0. Welcome back to Harper Shepherd Field. We are halfway through the game 1 of this Saturday doubleheader between the University of Tampa Spartans and the Rollins College Tars. A 3-run top half of the 5th for the Spartans as the Tars find themselves down now with the pressure on against B.J. Bailey, who's been dealing.
Yeah, B.J. Bailey has been dealing, but the Tampa Spartans, like you said, scored 3 runs to break the 0-0 tie in the top of the 5th, but that scoring was started by a walk from Walker Vanacek and then a squeeze bunt down the first base line and some great hustle from Javi Soto, who took a fall and is being replaced out in left field by Dennis McCaffrey. He was able to walk off the field off his own power and was pinch ran for Nick Perea, and then the rest is history. Spartans were able to get a couple of hits, and now the Tars got their work cut out for them here in the bottom of the 5th.
An awkward swing from O'Sullivan on the 0-1 pitch, found himself down 0-2, and watches strike 3 from B.J. Bailey to start the bottom half of the 5th.
Yeah, and we talked about it during the break. It's like, well, all you have to do if you're the Tars now is try and find a hit on B.J. Bailey, which has been hard to come by all season for any team. Definitely so far in this game. Through 4 1/3, he's only allowed 1 hit.
Tars hitting 1 of 14 so far. Haven't taken a walk as Thies squares the bunt but pulls back on ball 1, and that 1 hit was that Mauri Bejarano 2-out triple that they were unable to take advantage of. So still scoreless for the Tars as Jimmy Thies, the number 6 hitter, steps up to the plate and takes a strike to even the count at 1-1.
Yeah, Thies flew out to Javi Soto out and left his last time up. Was 2 of 4 yesterday, so having a good series so far.
He lifts one to deep left field. On the run is newly into the game, McCaffrey, and he's able to make the catch in foul ground. He had to cover a lot of ground over there up by the fence, but he makes a catch for out number 2.
Heck of a play right there by the true sophomore out of Cranford, New Jersey. able to follow and track that ball into foul territory. But another solid piece of contact, just not able to exactly line it up so far, the Tars. Now you bring up Mason Elrod, who flew out to center his last time up. A lot of flyouts so far for the home team.
Like you said, it's not a windy day, so flying out, you really got to get a hold of one to get it out of here. They've been close a couple of times, but unable to do so as B.J. Bailey fires in a ball. The count is at 1-1. This will only be the 60th pitch for the starter for the Spartans through 4 2/3.
Incredible. B.J. Bailey. But this is as advertised.
It's Elrod. Another fly ball. This one to left center. Evans and McCaffrey converging on it. It'll be McCaffrey who makes a catch. Another 1-2-3 for B.J. Bailey. The score remains 3-0 as we head to the top of the 6th. Welcome back to Harper Shepherd Field. We are here for the top of the 6th inning. It's 4-5-6 due up in the Spartans order against Brett Dennis, who's looking for a bounce-back inning after allowing 3 runs in the 5th.
And talking to another one of our fellow classmates who's actually going to be on the call for Game 2 of this doubleheader, Ethan Coulahan, he brought up that, he likes the decision for Brett Dennis to stay in this game because the fact that, you have the close call with Javi Soto on the squeeze bunt, and then the very close call, which a lot of Tars fans still think was foul, off of the double to end that inning from Jake Books over at first. But so Brett Dennis coming in, only 72 pitches entering this inning compared to B.J. Bailey's day. Obviously not looking as crisp, but, Dennis trying to go for another 6-inning start, which has usually been commonplace for him so far this year.
It really was just that one inning that blew up on him a little bit with that 2-run single, like you said, in that RBI double, as Irigoyen finds the gap between Jimmy Thies and Mauri Bejarano with a single to left field. Another leadoff runner for the Spartans is on here in the top of the 6th inning.
And the first batter with 2 hits of the day, Irigoyen, right there, just being able to pinpoint the perfect hole between short and third right there to get on base. Leadoff runner on. A couple of times that's happened so far for the Spartans.
First pitch swinging is Gunnett Carlson. That one will go foul off the net. With Irigoyen at first base, he's 2 for 2 so far this year in stolen base opportunities. So it doesn't go a lot, but is productive when he does.
It's a similar story, though, yesterday for Tampa. They had a big 4-run inning to break the scoring. Although it was in the 3rd, it was a little earlier than today, but that's what they do. That's what good teams do. They find a way to, get out in front early on, and it's not over yet for the Tars. Still a lot of game to play, but playing from behind, especially against this Spartans team who has a starter, B.J. Bailey, that right now it's looking like he could go a complete game so far the way he's pitching.
That would be back-to-back complete games for Spartans starters against the Tars. As Carlson fouls off the 2-1 pitch, the count is even at 2-2.
Yeah, Satine yesterday, excellent through 9 innings, but he did allow 8 hits and 1 run earned, 6 strikeouts to no walks. You compare that to B.J. Bailey's numbers so far through this one, through 5 innings, 1 hit allowed, no runs, and 3 strikeouts to no walks. It's really a Spartans pitching staff that is just top-notch, not only in the SSC but in the country.
They have 3 starters that they rely on. Satin, like you were talking about, B.J. Bailey in this one, and who we might see in Game 2 of this doubleheader, John Luke Glanton, 2.98 ERA, who's 8-1. They have 3 starters who have 8 or more wins so far this season. Count is now full to Gunnett Carlson, who's fouled off some tough pitches to get to this point.
Carlson grounded into a double play his last time up.
He skies that one in shallow right. Joey Rubin goes back, gets under it, battles the sun, and makes the catch for out number 1.
Important out number 1 right there for Joey Rubin.
The first baseman, number 6, Walker Vanacek.
And this is the area where teams usually start crumbling against Tampa. I've noticed as well watching the film. You know, you get down 3-0, and a lot of teams in this situation just start making pointless errors like drop pop-ups and stuff like that, but Rubin able to corral that one. If you're the Tars, first and foremost, to try and get back in this game, you got to play clean on defense for sure.
They have so far in this one, no errors for either side. The problem is for the Tars, just 1 hit and no walks, just 1 base runner as a team. As the number 6 hitter, Walker Vanacek, steps into the box, he falls behind Brett Dennis 0-2.
Vanacek, who scored that first run of the game, walked his last time up. Way outside on that pitch, just a throwaway, but that has really been the story to me for Dennis is those 3 walks. You know, you don't walk Vanacek and say you're able to get him out. Now you set up Javi Soto with nobody on base with an out. Much different story.
Vanacek lifts one to deep left field. Furry can only just watch it go. Back-to-back games. Walker Vanacek has gone deep, and he extends the Spartans' lead to 5.
Walker Vanacek had 3 runs coming into this series. Now 5, now 2 in just 2 games. And the Spartans starting to break this one open.
Five runs in the last 2 innings for the Spartans. Starting to get to Brett Dennis, who was cruising through the first 4.
Yeah, only had 1 hit allowed through those first 4 innings. Now 6 in the past 2. 5 runs all earned.
As Dennis now hits Dennis McCaffrey in his first at-bat coming off the bench. He'll reach base, and Brett Dennis seems to be losing it here, and he'll have a meeting.
Yeah, that is one thing that Dennis coming into this game has been a struggle for him as well. Leads the Tars in hit batters with 10 coming into this one. That is 11th on the year, and I have a feeling this is possibly the day for Brett Dennis.
You've also got to remember this is game 1 of a doubleheader. So however long the starter can give you in game 1 gives you available options in game 2. But this pitching visit could just be a stalling tactic as we see rumblings in the Tars bullpen.
I think you're right on that, partner. You can see a couple of Tars pitchers making their way from the dugout to the bullpen. Dennis now at 88 pitches on the day. But, you know, Tampa, through the first 2 times through the order, smooth sailing for Dennis. But once you, against these experienced and very well-rounded hitters, you get to the 3rd time seeing the same pitcher, you start to see tendencies, and the Spartans have definitely figured it out.
That's a good point, as well as this experienced coaching staff. Joe Urso in his 26th season, able to find tendencies, like you said, and the Spartans have really executed offensively these past couple innings, but Dennis remains out there for the time being. Will face the number 8 hitter and shortstop Jesse Ponce.
And a chance to possibly build some momentum going into the latter half of this game, but also into his next start that we'll see for sure, definitely in the Eckerd series next weekend. Because like you said, Dennis was doing Brett Dennis things through the first 4 innings, but these last 2, going up against the number 5 team in the country, starting to figure him out. If he's able to finish this inning clean, possibly, you know, be able to, like I said, build some momentum for the starter for the Tars.
He fell behind 2-0 to Ponce, but fired in a strike, moving the count to 2-1 as he checks on McCaffrey, who has not had a stolen base attempt this year.
And Jesse Ponce walked his first time up. One of those 3 today for Dennis.
Take strike 2. Dennis works from behind to even the count.
Yeah, you think about the timing of this game. First 4 innings lasted about 50 minutes. These last 2 coming up on about, or this last 1.5, should I say, coming up on 30 minutes.
And we just didn't see a ton of base runners, which is what extends the innings. And for the Tars, still just 1 base runner, but the Spartans have figured out their bats. And you got to think with the way B.J. Bailey is on the mound, they feel comfortable with a 5-run lead. Ponce continues to battle at the plate, a couple foul balls to stay alive.
And it's not just being able to get hits, but it's being able to get hits in clutch moments. With the runners on, the Spartans are 4 of 12 today, which is actually better than their batting average overall in this game, 6 of 19. So Spartans able to do work.
Ponce lines one to left. That's Furry coming in. He'll make the play for out number 2.
You can just feel the air in this stadium has really been taken out from the crowd.
Next up, the 3rd baseman, number 4, Jack Martinez.
Very important for Brett Dennis to be able to close out this inning right here and not flip the order back up to the 1 hole and Jordan Evans.
So it'll bring up the 9-hitter, Jack Martinez. It's walked. Or, no, sorry. Jack Martinez was the one who hit the 2 RBI single back in the 5th inning to get the Spartans on the board. As he swings through the 0-1 pitch, Dennis gets ahead 0-2.
And that's also something that's incredible. You're getting in a really huge marquee matchup, top 10 matchup, your 9-hole hitter is who starts the scoring off for your team. If you're Coach Urso, you have to be happy about that on the road.
Martinez has had a good game. He hit the sacrifice bunt his first time up. That was successful. It didn't lead to runs, but he did his job. And then, of course, the 2 RBI single, as he's able to work the 0-2 count back to even.
Yeah, now 10 RBIs on the year for Martinez after that single.
Count is now full with 2 outs in the inning. Dennis McCaffrey will be on the move on the pitch, so anything in any sort of gap could see McCaffrey running for a while. 3-2 is skied to left. Martinez very ahead of it. It will go way foul. We'll do 3-2 once again.
Now Dennis over 100 pitches on the day. Just trying to get down Martinez, but making him work for it.
3-2 on the outside corner. Brett Dennis gets through the 6th inning, but not before 2 runs and 2 hits. Those 2 runs coming on a Walker Vanacek 2-run home run. Spartans extend their lead to 5 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. BJ Bailey comes set, ready for his 6th inning of work, allowing just 1 base runner. He'll face 8-9-1 in the Tars order here in the bottom of the 6th, beginning with catcher Steven Deans.
Steven Deans flew out to center his last time up, and still 4 innings to work with if you're the Tars down 5, but the way BJ Bailey's pitching right now, so he gets the first strike of the at-bat. So far, 60 pitches through 5 innings, has allowed 1 hit, 0 runs, 0 walks, 3 strikeouts. That only hit coming on that Bejarano triple at the bottom of the 3rd.
Other than that, he's been perfect so far. Tars hitting just 1 for 16. 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. As the 2-1 pitch is fouled off towards the parking lot.
And just misses a car, although it hits 2 off of the hop. But, yeah, evens the count 2-2.
You're playing with fire if you're parking in that parking lot.
Yeah, I'm parked over right next to that bullpen for the Spartans, but...
And the 2-2 pitch from Bailey drops in for strike 3, gets Deans looking for the first out here in the 6th.
Next over the 12-hour shortstop, number 11, Maui Bejarano.
4 strikeouts on the day now for BJ Bailey. Averages around 6.5 strikeouts, closer towards 7 a game.
We'll bring up the 9-hitter and the only Tar to reach base so far. Maui Bejarano looking to spark something again here with 1 out in the 6th.
I mean, it's incredible, though, for BJ Bailey. First time facing Maui Bejarano since the 3rd.
As he lines one to right. This time it will not get down in right field. Catch is made by Jake Books for out number 2.
And now only the 2nd time we have flipped the order through 5 2/3 for the Tars.
Next over the Tars, second baseman, number 23, Joey Rubin.
Bejarano's had the best contact out of all the Tars.
Absolutely.
That one was a good line drive. Just unfortunately right out Books there to retire Bejarano. Like you said, lineup flips over as Joey Rubin takes strike 1.
And that's been the story of the day as well for the Tars in the batter's box. A lot of solid contact hits, but most of them resulting in flyouts outside of that 1 triple by Bejarano. Speaking of which, Joey Rubin led off the game with a flyout to center that looked clean off the bat. Struck out his last time up. Now his 70th pitch, BJ Bailey
Drops it in for a strike, 1-2. It's very comfortable in that windup. Hasn't had to go to the stretch actually at all because with the 2-out triple, you're not really too worried about Bejarano stealing home. So he pitched out of the windup then too. The 1-2 drops in for strike 3. BJ Bailey making it look easy here against a top 10 team in the country. He's through 6 scoreless, just 1 hit for the Tars as we head to the top of the 7th. We are 2/3 of the way through game 1 of this Saturday doubleheader between the Spartans and the Tars. And Max, we see our first pitching change for either side.
Yeah, Tyler Toro coming in for Brett Dennis, who threw six innings of work, allowed 6 hits, 5 runs all earned, 3 walks to 4 strikeouts in 102 pitches. And like you said, Tyler Toro coming in, having a solid season so far. A little over a 4.03 ERA, a 1.16 WHIP. This is his 11th appearance on the year through 22 and 1/3, 24 strikeouts to just 6 walks. And he'll have to play super clean, really, to end off this game if the Tars want any chance of coming back.
Yeah, and it won't start easy for him, getting thrown straight into the fire here, facing the top of this Spartans order. Beginning with Jordan Evans as he pokes one through the right side between first and second base. And once again, for the Spartans, leadoff runner reaches.
And the first hit of the series for Jordan Evans, 0 for 8 in his first 8 at-bats against the Tars, and able to sneak one right there through the 4-3 hole. And the Spartans, everything going right so far through these last 2 1/3.
Tyler Toro's got to be careful. Jordan Evans, 18 of 20 on stolen bases this year. He will push the issue on the base paths, and Toro seems to be aware of that as he checks on him.
Yeah, 18 of 20, tied for 6th in the most amount of stolen bases in the Sunshine State Conference. Man, that is crazy. Looking ahead to Eckerd, the Tars will have to face Corey Hodiern, who 29 for 32 on stolen bases on the year.
7 more than second place. It's running away with it, literally.
Literally, absolutely wild. But Toro, now he's ready after the first single by Evans, but he's got to throw strikes.
He does right there. The 1-0 pitch to Jake Books, who's 1 for 2 today.
Jake Books had that controversial double down the first base line his last time up. Also has a strikeout and a walk.
There goes Evans. The throw from Deans is perfect. On the money. Bejarano applies the tag. And only the third time Jordan Evans has been caught stealing this season.
Beautiful throw right there by Deans. Spotting it out immediately. And that's why he's been the staple behind the home plate as of recent for the Tars. It's been him and Hughes. And showing why right there.
Now Toro gets the strikeout of Books. Essentially a strike him out, throw him out. Just used one extra pitch. Just like that. Instead of no outs, one runner on, we have no runners on and 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
And that's what Toro does best. 24 strikeouts on the season in just 22 1/3 innings. One of the best ratios on the Tars. Now 25 on the year as he faces Braden Woodburn.
Woodburn's 0 for 3 to start this one. And even with Dennis struggling in those last 2 innings, Coach John Sjogren has to be happy that he got through those 6 innings, especially in the first game of a doubleheader, saving the bullpen a little bit for game 2.
Absolutely. Possibly setting up Brody Myers for the start in game 3. And if you're Tyler Toro here, chance to throw minimal pitches against the Spartans order. And like you said, Braden Woodburn, 0 for 3 today, just 1 of 7 so far in the series. Came into today leading the Spartans in batting average, 380. But that's what's been so impressive for the Spartans so far against the number 10 team in the country through 2 games. It's been their top 2 guys in terms of batting average, Woodburn and Evans, not doing the work for Tampa. It's been guys like 9-hole hitter Jack Martinez.
Woodburn on the 3-1 pitch. Would have been a walk anyways, but he gets plunked by Toro. So a 2-out base runner here for Tampa. And Woodburn ups that on-base percentage, which is 3rd coming into today's game in the Sunshine State Conference. He gets on base over 50% of the time, Max.
That is just incredible. His first time on base today, but Toro, his 6th hit batter on the year, and now he has to face possibly the best hitter so far today for the Spartans in Joander Irigoyen.
First pitch to said Irigoyen is taken outside for ball 1.
Singled his last 2 times up. Batting .359 coming into today.
Neither team has been very successful when it comes to 2-out hitting. When it comes to Rollins, it's been unsuccessful with any kind of hitting, but 1 for 6 for the Spartans with 2 outs, 1 for 7 for the Tars. As the 1-0 pitch from Toro was in for a strike to even the count at 1-1. He fires as Irigoyen fouls it down the left field line.
Yeah, and if you're the Tars, I really do think, as we saw the last batter, Braden Woodburn, reaching on a hit by pitch, that's now 6 free passes given up between the 2 pitchers. 4 walks and 2 hit batters. Those tend to pile up, especially when you're playing a top 5 opponent.
1-2 swung on in the dirt by Irigoyen for strike 3. So Tyler Toro gets through a scoreless inning in relief of Brett Dennis, as we will stand up and stretch to take me out to the ball game.
Leading off to
Welcome back to Harper Shepherd Field here in Winter Park, Florida. You are watching the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Once again, we'd just like to extend gratitude to Rollins College, to Phil Chinnery for giving us the opportunity to call this game, as well as our course director at Full Sail University in the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting, Gus Ramsey. As the first pitch, seen by Colin Hughes from B.J. Bailey in the bottom half of the 7th, is shot back up the middle, and the leadoff runner for the Tars is on.
And that's a good sign for Colin Hughes, his first hit in his last 7 at-bats. And getting it started off, I mean, 1 pitch so far in this inning, and he has half of the hitting for the Tars today. And, you know, it all starts with 1 hit if you're the Tars here. Down 5. Maybe that builds some momentum as Michael Furry steps in.
Furry, first pitch swinging, is lifted to left, but right at the left fielder. That's Dennis McCaffrey out there for out number 1. Once again, good contact, just unfortunately for the Tars, it's right at somebody.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of balls today that off the bat seems like if with a little wind out in the outfield, they would go yard most days, but just so far today, nothing doing. As B.J. Bailey through 6 1/3 now, 73 pitches, still only 2 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, no walks.
Brown first pitch swinging as well. He fouls it back. But Hughes, the first base runner for the Tars since 2 outs in the 3rd inning. B.J. Bailey, with that low pitch count, is cruising through this Tars order.
Yeah, and after that Michael Furry hit, the Tars are now 0 for 2 with runners on.
Brown, the 0-1 is fouled back right above us. I'm sure you could hear that because that's about all we could hear.
Yeah, if anybody was trying to take a nap in the stadium, definitely just awoke. But, no, if you're the Tars here, I mean, we talked about it when it happened. In the bottom of the 3rd, no teams getting a score after that Bejarano triple, you know, being so close to home, Joey Rubin unable to drive him in. You feel like that was a turning point in the game as well for the Tars. You got to be able to take advantage.
You would have hoped they would have had something brewing after, but you never know in baseball, so you got to take advantage of every opportunity, including the leadoff runner getting on here for the Tars. As Brown, the 1-2, goes back to Bailey. He flips on a first. Bit of a closer play than I think Bailey was expecting, but he does make the play for out number 2.
Well, Bailey turned around the wrong way off of the mound trying to play that ball, but able to stay with it and get it over to first to get the speedy Jaden Brown out. He does move the runner, but 2 outs now in the inning.
Runner in scoring position just the second time the Tars have hit with that, and it brings up Connor O'Sullivan, who's 0 for 2 on the day.
Connor O'Sullivan batting .254 coming into this game.
Swings and misses at the first pitch fastball from Bailey, who doesn't seem to be wavering at all. That pitch still sizzling in there. Just 77 pitches now.
Yeah, looking for his 10th win on the year.
That one's up and in. O'Sullivan able to get out of the way. That would hurt.
O'Sullivan 0 for 6 in the series so far, so he's due for one, and it would be a big time right now for the runner in scoring position. Lefty-on-lefty matchup.
0 for 3 are the Tars with runners on. As O'Sullivan lifts one to right center, will be Jake Books retiring O'Sullivan and retiring the 7th inning. Still scoreless are the Tars as we head to the 8th. 5-0 Spartans.
the Spartans, the DH number 0, Gunnar Carlson.
As we head into the top of the 8th here at Alphonse Stadium, we would like to make one quick shout out once again to the official medical team of Rollins Baseball, Orlando Health, here at the park today, promoting mental health. Big shout out to Orlando Health, the official medical team of Rollins Baseball.
Like you said, we're back in the top of the 8th. Tyler Toro, who came in for Brett Dennis in relief last inning, is back out there for his second inning and will face 5, 6, 7 of Tampa's order, beginning with Gunnar Carlson.
And pitched 16 times in that inning, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, so very active.
So he grounds one over to second. Rubin makes the ranging play for out number 1. Leadoff hitter for the Spartans is retired, which recently has been a difficult thing for the Tars to do.
Yeah, I mean, they've allowed, last inning was their first scoreless inning since the 4th. So the Tars, and this is what you got to do. Down 5, you got 2 more innings left to work with on the offensive side. Any more runs, this lead goes from insurmountable to impossible. But Tyler Torrey doing a good job so far for the Tars.
His job is just to keep it at this 5-run lead, give his offense a chance if they want to wake up. Just like you said, 6 outs left to play with. As we see the number 6 hitter, Walker Vanacek, step in, and he had quite the swing in his last at-bat.
Yeah, no doubt homer off the light pole in left field. Really blew this thing open.
We saw earlier in his second at-bat in the 5th inning, he was trying to absolutely kill the baseball. Ended up walking that at-bat, but got a second chance there. He's feeling his power at the plate in this series at least.
Yeah, Vanacek, like we said, came into the series with 3 home runs, 2 in these last 2 games. And that's the beauty of this Spartans order we've mentioned. A reason why they're number 5 in the country is anybody on any given day can give it to you. And that's something that Coach Urso in his 26th year has always preached, how he has been able to build a national powerhouse here at the University of Tampa.
You don't become top 2 in the conference in almost every hitting stat just from a few players. It's got to be top to bottom. And that's what the Spartans pride themselves on, as Vanacek works the count from 1-2 to full with 1 out here in the top of the 8th.
And the Tars preach something similar as well. Their strength all year has been pitching, but on the hitting side, they're good at everything. You know, it's something we were talking about. They're not extremely good in one stat. Homers, they're second in the conference, but CC walk right there.
Yes, Vanacek takes a second walk of the game. 1 out base runner for the Spartans. Will bring up Dennis McCaffrey, who came in relief out in left field. He got hit by a pitch in his first at-bat.
Yeah, McCaffrey, who made a stellar play in foul territory. His first time coming in for the injured Javi Soto.
That's not an easy thing to do. No warm-up or nothing, really. Just thrown in there. But, yes, like you said, he made the nice play and reached base in his first at-bat as well.
And Tyler Toro now, same amount of walks as strikeouts, 2 apiece. It's fouled back.
Count is even now to McCaffrey at 1-1 with Walker Vanacek over at first base. Just 2 steal attempts on the year. Not too much of a threat, especially when Steven Deans is throwing like he threw out Jordan Evans. It would be a surprise to see Vanacek on the move as the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed by McCaffrey.
Yeah, sweet pitch right there by Toro. Able to get him low in the zone. And like you said, not many people are able to get past Steven Deans on the base pass. And I'd be surprised if he runs right here.
It's a 1-2 pitch. Catches McCaffrey looking. Toro gets his third strikeout in relief. And there's now 2 outs here in the 8th for the number 8 hitter and shortstop Jesse Ponce.
Toro going right at these Spartans hitters so far. Already the same amount of strikeouts that his starter Brett Dennis had in 5 less innings. This is what he's done all year, though. Came in with 24 strikeouts, now 27 on the year.
Coach Sjogren will definitely be looking to him to finish this game so they can have as many options as they want in the second game. And Toro's giving him some good stuff so far through 1 2/3.
Yeah, that one right there almost hitting the first base coach for the Spartans, but good job staying hot on his toes, showing off the moves and avoiding the hit. But like you said, that Game 2 coming up at 3 o'clock, so a little over an hour away.
Check swing on the 0-1. They appeal down to Marcial Santos, who decides Ponce did not go, which will move the count to 1-1.
And we mentioned coming into this one the postseason implications of this game.
That ball's on the ground. Ruben makes a terrific play just to get to that ball. He was very far right, closer to the first base bag, the shift. With the shift and Jesse Ponce.
It's just incredible. Yeah, it's just incredible that he was able to get his glove on that ball, but no play over at second with some speed on the base pass from Vanacek, but able to prevent possibly Vanacek advancing to third right there.
I think if it gets by Ruben, Vanacek easily gets to third. It wasn't hit extremely hard, but Ruben, good job getting his glove on it. We'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Jack Martinez, who's had a productive game at the plate.
Yeah, Jack Martinez had a clutch single through the middle earlier for the first 2 runs of the game for the Spartans. These 2 teams, for sure, shoe-ins to the NCAA tournament, but at the end of the day, you always love to be the champion of your conference, and if Tampa's able to finish this game off, they'll be a full 4 games ahead of the Tars, but we do have a second game in this doubleheader, so Tars will look to bounce back.
The Spartans are in a really good spot to win the conference once again. Just 2 losses so far in conference play. The Tars in second place, obviously, they would, with 5 losses, 3 games back in the loss column. These games were important, and they wouldn't be as important if they played a conference tournament at the end of the year. But it's whoever's at the top of the standings at the end of the regular season gets to call themselves the champions.
Yeah, and gets the automatic bid for the NCAA tournament. But like I mentioned, with these 2 teams being in the top 10, even with a late season collapse by the Tars or the Spartans, still shoe-ins to the NCAA tournament. But always good to have that title as SSC champion, as the Spartans have had the last 5 years. Both these teams sitting around where they were projected early on in the season. Tampa once again the number 1 preseason team. Rollins the 3rd ranked preseason team in the SSC behind Florida Southern. I'll tell you what, a win in Game 3 today against the Spartans would be huge for the Tars, not only to get a win over the number 5 team, but to build momentum into possibly an even bigger series, the biggest series of the season for the Tars against Eckerd College next weekend, who was projected last, currently 3rd in the conference.
3-2 pitch with the runners on the move. Tyler Toro gets Jack Martinez swinging. Another scoreless inning out of the bullpen for Tyler Toro. It will be 6-7-8 due up for the Tars in the bottom of the 8th. We welcome you back to Harper Shepherd Field in wonderful Winter Park, Florida. It's a beautiful day for a doubleheader of baseball between the Tars and the Spartans. As we see, B.J. Bailey, just 80 pitches through 7 innings. He's back and ready for the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day for baseball, and it's a beautiful day for B.J. Bailey. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, 0 runs, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts on 80 pitches. Incredible.
You will face 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Tars, beginning with the third baseman, Jimmy Thies.
And a chance we mentioned earlier to be the second straight complete game in this series for the Spartans. Robert Satine going 9 yesterday.
This would be a complete game shutout the way he's going, though, this time, as Satin gave up 1 run yesterday in his complete game. That would be the 5th shutout for the Spartans so far this season and would put them solely in first for the Sunshine State Conference in that category.
B.J. Bailey has been great all year, and it's continuing today. This would be actually his first complete game on the season. And with that, his first complete game shutout as well.
He's mad at himself as he gives up his first walk of the game to Thies. The Tars have their leadoff runner on. Still down by 5, but when the leadoff runner gets on, that can always start something.
Absolutely, and B.J. Bailey, up until that walk, still having an incredible day, but gives up a cardinal sin, walking the leadoff batter. And now Mason Elrond, who has some power behind his bat, 2 home runs on the year.
First pitch was in the dirt. Check swing from Elrod. They appealed down to Marcial Santos, who says he went around, so the count begins at 0-1.
And we see some action starting in the Spartans bullpen, but I have a feeling that's extremely precautionary, seeing as Bailey still dealing here, but
it'll be interesting to see the game plan on the base paths for the Tars. Obviously, with it being so few and far between their opportunities with players on base, they don't want to give away outs by getting caught stealing. But with 0 runs, you got to be desperate to make something happen.
Absolutely, and Thies 6 for 8 on the year is able to do it, but he's also going up against a incredible catcher, Joander Irigoyen, behind home plate.
As Elrod lifts one to right center. Converging on it is the center fielder and right fielder, and will eventually, when it comes down, it'll be Jordan Evans who makes the catch and retires Elrod for the first out.
And I'm very impressed by the communication in the outfield by the Spartans so far today. We've seen a couple of those where they've been drifting into left center or right center, and you'll sometimes see some confusion between teammates out there, but able to call off his right fielder books at the last second, Jordan Evans making the play.
And with that out, B.J. Bailey has now thrown 7 1/3, the longest he's gone in a start this season. He's gone 7 innings flat a couple of times, but he sure has his A-plus stuff today. And Coach Joe Urso is rewarding him by keeping him out there, but this time gets away from the catcher, Joander Irigoyen. And Jimmy Thies will get into scoring position here with 1 out.
Yeah, and only the 3rd player in scoring position so far today for the Tars. And down by 5. You got to start with 1 run if you're the Tars here in the bottom of the 8th. Just 5 outs to work with.
Irigoyen
shaken up.
Looks like maybe that pitch hit him in the hand, shaking it off, walking it off. But B.J. Bailey now over 90 pitches in this game. With their 5-run lead, it'll be interesting to see if Urso keeps him in there if he gets out of this inning for the 9th. Obviously, you want to save your bullpen for game 2, but he's already given you 8 innings, and you don't want to push him too far.
Very true, but I feel like you got to give, already the most innings he's pitched, and you had a complete game from your ace yesterday in Robert Satine. BJ Bailey, the grad student. I feel like you got to give him if he gets out of this inning unscathed, you got to try and let him go for the complete game shutout.
That's grounded to short by Deans. The play is made by Jesse Ponce. Thies moves over to third now with 2 outs. We'll bring up the 9-hitter, Mauri Bejarano.
Next up the Tar, shortstop, number 11, Mauri Bejarano.
And if nothing else, you want to try and drive in this first run of the game if you're Bejarano to try and set up some momentum going into the 9th inning. Had that triple in the bottom of the 3rd, flew out to right his last time up, but that flyout very similar to his triple.
It was.
Almost more of a hard hit line out into deep right. Bejarano, 2 home runs on the year. Does have some power.
Both at bats, he made good contact off of BJ Bailey. This time, he has a chance to bring home a run with Jimmy Thies over at third. He gets ahead 2-0. Hitters count. They've been aggressive in hitters counts. The few and far between times they've been able to get ahead of BJ Bailey. So he's aggressive on this one. It's lined into left field.
Lineup, center fielder, number 13, Jordan Evans.
One more inning to go in game 1 of this Saturday doubleheader between the number 5 ranked University of Tampa Spartans and the number 10 ranked Rollins College Tars. The Spartans lead 5-1. The Tars were able to get a run in the bottom half of the inning, the bottom half of the 8th inning, to avoid the shutout as the first pitch to Jordan Evans is grounded to Ruben, who makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 9th.
And Tyler Torre continues to go to work in relief of Brett Dennis, now through 2 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, no runs, 2 walks to 4 strikeouts and 40 pitches. So really good sign so far from Tyler Torre. And who knows, you set up the Tars, you get another scoreless inning here in the top of the 9th. You set up the Tars with a grand slam, they could tie it. Crazier things have happened.
Be interesting to see if we see BJ Bailey in the bottom half of the 9th, now over 100 pitches, and gave up a run in the 8th. So we see the number 2 hitter, Jake Books, check in to the box. He's 1 for 3. And Toro's done exactly what Coach John Sjogren would have hoped for. With this being the first game of a doubleheader, he saved the rest of their bullpen arms, looking to go 3 innings in relief of their starter, Brett Dennis, who went 6.
Yeah, even though the Tars have not really had the hitting that they have wanted through these first 2 games, only 4 pitchers used as we are in the last inning of regulation in this game 2. And because yesterday Noah Greenside pitched 5 and Robert Ogden came in relief and finished off the game. Torre looking to do something similar.
Count is now full to Jake Books. after taking that 2-2 pitch in the dirt. Toro's ready for the payoff pitch. It's ripped on the ground. Back towards Books. Books' team's dugout. We'll do 3-2 once again. Good job of battling up there.
And Tyler Toro, the senior out of Lake Howell High School.
The 3-2 just outside. One out base runner for the Spartans. And we'll bring up the meat of the Spartans order, number 3 hitter Braden Woodburn.
And Tyler Toro so far in this game in relief has tied his season high in strikeouts with 4. And I was about to say he had a chance to get to that season high, but walks him. That's now 8 free passes given by the Tars today, 2 hit by pitches and 6 walks.
Leading on the mound there. After Toro gives up his 3rd walk, he'll stay in the game, needing 2 more outs.
And that's really just a testament to the patience at the plate by the Spartans today. So face Braden Woodburn.
That patience is nothing new. They were first in the Sunshine State Conference in walks. Coming into today, 236 as a team. They also have first and second in Braden Woodburn and Jake Books, who just added to his total right there.
And speaking
of individual players with walks.
And speaking of Braden Woodburn, he's who steps up to the plate now. Walked his last time up.
Toro struggling to find the zone here in the 9th inning. They're walking Books. He falls behind Braden Woodburn 2-0.
Yeah, Toro was attacking this order for the Spartans through his first 2 innings of work pretty heavily, but now it seems playing a little bit more restricted.
2-0 is inside. Danger of walking back-to-back hitters and setting the table for the cleanup hitter, Joander Irigoyen, on deck.
And you don't want to walk him, but you also don't want to give him too much good stuff. 380 hitter coming in with 5 home runs.
3-0 is in for a strike. Back in the count comes Tyler Toro. It's 3-1.
And if you're Toro here, you got to give him something possibly like low and outside here. Something that looks good at the start but then drops off the table.
The 3-1 pitch is way outside and in the dirt. Back-to-back walks given up by Toro. Will move Books to second. Woodburn on first for Joander Irigoyen.
You think about this, partner. 9 free passes given up by the Tars, 7 walks, and 2 hit by pitches. So that's 9 base runners on for the Spartans without any of them getting a hit. The Tars have had a total of 4 base runners all day with a 1 walk and 3 hits.
Coach Sjogren coming out once again to talk to Toro and take the ball this time. Call to the bullpen for the Tars. And we'll step aside as the new pitcher comes in to warm up. We are back here in the top of the 9th. Spartans with a runner in scoring position. Runners on second and first base for the cleanup hitter, Joander Irigoyen. And the new pitcher for the Tars is ready to go.
Yeah, new pitcher is Matthew Dimitri coming in for Tyler Toro, who threw 2 1/3 innings, 2 hits allowed, no runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts on 52 total pitches. Matthew Dimitri comes in a 9 flat ERA, but in his 6th appearance, he hasn't allowed a hit so far this year through 10 batters faced, but 4 walks and 4 strikeouts, 4 runs earned.
Irigoyen lines one to center. Coming around to score is Jake Books. First to third goes Braden Woodburn. And the Irigoyen adds to the Spartans' lead. It is now 6-1.
A bit of an announcer's jinx right there. Dimitri, first hit given up on the season right there. And Irigoyen adds to the lead and adds to his incredible day. 3 of 5 now.
I will put runners on the corners. Woodburn at third and Irigoyen at first. Bring up Gunnick Carlson, who's 0 for 4 on the day with just 1 out against Dimitri. First pitch is taken high for ball 1.
Gunnick Carlson grounded it out to second baseman Joey Rubin his last time up. That's the one thing you didn't want to do if you're the Tars defense in this top of the 9th is let them extend this lead.
They got that 1 run that the Tars got in the bottom of the 8th right back. Lead is back to 5. With chance to do more here with a runner in scoring position and just 1 out. They're now 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position after that Irigoyen single.
In a much different way that we got here, but nonetheless, same score
right
as the game yesterday right now in the top of the 9th, 6-1.
There are a lot of similarities between this game and last game. As the 1-2 pitch to Carlson swung on and missed. Dimitri bounces back after the hit by Irigoyen to get the second out of the inning.
First strikeout of the day for Dimitri is a big one because that now gets rid of the sacrificed opportunity with a runner on third. He's got to go up against Walker Vanacek, who hasn't been sat down in his last 3 at-bats, 2 walks and a homer in the 6th.
I want to talk about the similarities between these two games. Both games include a Walker Vanacek 2-run home run, as well as BJ Bailey, if he goes out for the 9th, a chance to get a complete game with just 1 run given up.
Yeah, that'd be 2 straight complete games for Tampa with as Robert Satine yesterday went 9 innings, allowed 8 hits, whereas BJ Bailey has only allowed 3. Also, there was 1 run scored by Tampa to extend it to 6-1 yesterday. So, like you said, a lot of similarities. And
as that ball is ripped to left center field, but the catch is made out there by Michael Furry to stop the damage there. 1 run on 1 hit for the Spartans in the top of the 9th, and the Tars need at least 5 runs in the bottom half to keep this game going. Welcome back to Winter Park, Florida. 3 outs remaining in this one, the first game of the doubleheader. You are watching the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network, but make sure when this one ends, you stick around. 3 o'clock is the time for Game 2. Our good friends June Yoon and Ethan Coulahan will be on the call. But for now, the Tars have 3 outs to work with to get 5 runs. And it begins with Colin Hughes against BJ Bailey, who's out trying to get that complete game.
Yeah, enters this inning with 100 pitches on the day. Incredible work from Bailey.
I wonder how much of that decision.
And the catch made in the bullpen.
Can't see it on the broadcast, but that ball was fouled right into the Spartans bullpen where players are warming up and the catch was made. As Connor O'Sullivan now has the count at 1-1, but you got to wonder how much of the decision goes to competitiveness to keep BJ Bailey out here. You know, if he didn't finish this game, his teammate Robert Satin would give him a lot of grief. As a nice play by Bailey to get to the bag. Connor O'Sullivan, even down by 5, still hustling out of the box, trying to reach base to start the 9th, but the play is made by Walker Vanacek and BJ Bailey for the first out.
Yeah, that was actually Colin Hughes hustling down the first base line.
Yep.
But nonetheless, yeah, I love the hustle out of one of your stars. If you're Coach Sjogren, you got to enjoy him trying to make something happen.
It's my mistake. That will bring up Michael Furry, number 3 hitter, 0 for 3.
2 consecutive flyouts to left field for Michael Furry.
BJ Bailey still working quickly. Not showing signs of fatigue. Did give up that 1 run last inning. But 1 quick out here in the 9th. Now facing Furry, he falls behind 2-1.
It's just always incredible if in a 3-game series through the first 2 games you're able to only have to use 2 pitchers in baseball, and a chance with 2 more outs here from Bailey for the Spartans to do just that.
Swing and a miss by Furry makes the count 2-2. And to that point, it's kind of why I thought Bailey wouldn't be out for this 9th inning, is because they had a complete game yesterday. They could use anybody they want. As he strikes out Michael Furry. 2 outs here in the 9th. BJ Bailey, even with 108 pitches, still looking fresh. 1 out away from the Spartans' 2nd complete game by their starting pitcher, giving up just 1 run.
Yeah, now his 6th strikeout on the day. That is the second most, or excuse me, he had 14 strikeouts in his last outing against Nova Southeastern, so not very likely that he beats that today, but
this game would have to go a lot of extra innings for that. That'll bring up Jaden Brown, the cleanup hitter. Gets ahead in the count 2-0. Should get a pitch to hit here from Bailey.
But Bailey doing it, like you said, Porter, very quick work with these batters, and it's been by forcing them to try and make something happen through the air. A lot of flyouts so far today for the Tars, just hitting it on the edge of their bat. And BJ Bailey has been really good with his spots. Now 111 pitches on the day.
2-1 now is the count to Brown. He takes strike 2. Bailey now 1 strike away from giving the Spartans their 32nd win of the year. And no matter what happens in Game 2, taking the series against the Tars. 2-2, 2 outs here in the 9th. Brown on the ground, and that'll get through into right field. Tars not done yet. A 2-out single for Jaden Brown keeps the game alive.
Yeah, the first hit of the series the second hit of the series for Jaden Brown, and you gotta love the fight you see out of your Tars if you're Coach Sean Sjogren. Right there, even down to the last strike, and the game isn't over till it's over. Connor O'Sullivan's got to try and keep the bat moving.
Just the 3rd hit for the Tars in this one. Just goes to show how dominant BJ Bailey has been. Like you said, that'll bring up Connor O'Sullivan, who's 0 for 3. He takes ball 1 from Bailey.
Yeah, Brown becomes the first batter besides Bejarano to get a hit today. Bejarano is 2 for 3. The rest of the lineup 0 for I don't know how many.
As O'Sullivan grounds it to second. Braden Woodburn makes the play, and that's going to do it. The Spartans have now secured this series win with a chance at 3 o'clock to complete the sweep of the Tars. Same score, 6-1 as yesterday, and just another dominant performance from both the offense and the defense for the Spartans, Max.
Yeah, absolutely impressive performance by the starting pitcher, B.J. Bailey. Had not gone more than 7 innings all season, goes all 9 today, and finishes it out with 113 pitches, allowing 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk to 6 strikeouts on the day for Bailey. And like you said, it continues to be consistency for this Tampa Spartans team, 32-7 now on the year. Rollins will drop to 27-11 on the season, 17-6 in conference, and Tampa extends their lead in the conference to 18-2.
Now, usually we do players of the game at this point, but I don't even think we have to.
No,
I think it's pretty obvious. B.J. Bailey, complete game, just 1 run, gave up 4 hits. It's just a completely dominant performance from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, B.J. Bailey, and it's actually 115 pitches, on the day. It really, you had the triple by Bejarano in the bottom of the 3rd, and he could have wavered, with a runner that close to home plate, but was able to get the next runner out to end the inning, and then just really never wavered anytime the Rollins Tars, even after that first run in the bottom of the 8th, just ho-hum, got the next couple of guys out. And so if you're the Spartans, very impressive performance from your pitcher. And now it sets up for you to possibly only have to use 3 hands in this series, but the Tars will be looking to not get out of this weekend without a win. And so they're going to be giving it their all in the doubleheader, or the final game of our series, the second game of our doubleheader, which should be coming up in a little over 30 minutes.
Brett Dennis looked good through 4 innings, but the Spartans' offense is inevitable. Scored 5 runs, including a home run from Walker Vanacek in the 5th. Scored 5 runs in the 5th and 6th combined, and then 1 in the 9th to finish with 6 runs and 9 hits, no errors on the day. Rollins struggled at the plate, like we said. They did get a Mauri Bejarano single to left field to get on the board in the 8th. They finished with 1 run on 4 hits. That's going to do it for us here. Game 1, but don't go anywhere. Right here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network at 3 o'clock, like we said, Ethan Coulahan and June Yoon on the call for Game 2 of this doubleheader. I'd just like to thank Phil Chinnery and Rollins for giving us the opportunity once again to call this game. And our school, Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting at Full Sail University. Gus Ramsey, our program director.
And one more shout out to the official medical team of Rollins Baseball, Orlando Health, today, showing up at the entrance today, advocating for mental health. Orlando Health, the official medical team of Rollins Baseball. And like you said, Rollins loses 6-1 to Tampa, but don't go away because we got a doubleheader.
Yes, your final score, 6-1 Tampa. We'd like to thank you for watching this broadcast. Stick around at 3 o'clock around his first pitch for Game 2 of the doubleheader. Have a good night. Have a good day. It's still a day.
Yeah,
Have a good day, everybody.